Sticklers, thank you for joining me on the Spirit Farm podcast. It's so great to have you.
I'm so excited!
Thanks for having us, Caleb.
Mike and Kat, you guys are so cool and so fun. This is so great. So I've been watching all of your videos. I made my way over to your Instagram too, but let's start with TikTok. You guys are TikTok famous, right? It's real. Let's just be real. I want to get into that, but first, you only, right now, when at this recording, it's like almost October. You only started recording in May. So in a very short amount of time, you guys exploded onto the scene. Why did you jump onto TikTok in the first place? What were you thinking when you were like, let's give this TikTok thing a go?
Well, I think I was like, it was really addicting. Like it had the perfect kind of setup. You don't have anything other than the video and you just keep going. And like that dopamine hit
just perfect algorithm
keeps going. And so I was like, okay, I like this. And then we were home with the baby.
We were bored.
Bored
in quarantine.
So we were quarantined like literally before COVID. And then we're like ready to go and see the world. And then COVID happens. We're like, wait a minute. Yeah. We're ready to hang out now.
Yeah.
So we just started like one or two, and then one, like the third or the fourth one kind of started to go viral, and I was kind of understanding, okay, they want to see A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Let's keep trying to replicate that as much as we can. It was just really fun.
Okay, Mike, so does your wife have a social media brain? Does she just kind of like understand what the people want and then tell you guys how to give it to them?
I would say that's pretty accurate, yeah. Yeah. She's very naturally, she gets it. So like sometimes I'll come up with like some pretty kooky ideas and she'd be like, that's not gonna work. Like that just doesn't make sense. So, yeah.
Okay, give me one example. What was a kooky idea that you had to shut down, Kat?
Do you even remember? I don't know.
There's a few you've had.
Yeah, some weird ones.
Yeah, just some weird ones. Like I feel like he does pranks, but they're not very intense. So it's like a very subtle prank. And he's like, can you think they'll like that one? I'm like, babe, I get where you're coming from.
I'm a big Office fan. So think like Jim pranking Dwight.
Yeah, like he wanted to put my stuff in Jell-O, which his pranks are super elaborate. Like we have to bait and like do it super intense. I'm like, I love
put the baby's binky in Jell-O and let's see if the baby can get...
Right.
You get it. I get it. What's your sweet daughter's name? Mary
Catherine.
Mary Catherine. What was the inspiration for her name?
Oh my God, I love answering this question. I have never met a Mary in my life that I haven't just loved. Every Mary has been an angel to me and so kind, whether it's in my family or a friend. And then I didn't want to just Mary. I wanted a little bit of me in there. So I was like, Mary Catherine. It's my name and everyone's name is good.
I love it. It's beautiful. I got a quick little a peek at her before we started rolling. She is adorable.
Did you see how she sat so proper when she saw the camera? She was like, oh.
Yes, she was like, oh, is this thing on?
I was born for this.
She was born for it, for sure.
Okay, so you said that when you just started getting going, you tried a couple of things, and like the third or fourth one started to get some traction. The one that I saw that first put you guys on my radar, and maybe I saw one previously, but the one where I was like, oh, that's super cute. You guys are great. And then I started to look into who you were, and it was when Mike surprised you with like the day that you wanted. And it was, hey honey, you want to go to Target, right? You want to go to that video, by the way, that's my wife. She like Target, and she's like, best day ever.
She's already in the car.
Ours is a minivan. You have that to look forward to. I saw the video about the Porsche. Okay, next car, minivan. Look forward to that, Kat.
Can't wait.
So that was my first exposure to you guys, and that one really looked like it took off. That was like 10 million views already, right?
Yeah, it did well.
Is that your biggest?
Technically, actually, I think our biggest one is where I tell her, like, we kind of set it up where I tell her she's in the kitchen and the camera's on her, and I say, you could have been nicer to me today. And then she goes off on me and is like, I did this and this and this. That was originally our first viral video, actually.
Awesome.
And I think it just resonated with so many women because there's probably a lot of women that unfortunately like have maybe a husband who doesn't help out much, and they're like, yeah, get him.
It was actually our first so it was like the second one that went really, really viral where it was kind of like people hated Sweet Michael. Like they were like, you need to leave him. You deserve, like they were just, I'm like, this is 30 seconds of our lives. Like
we got a real dose of cancel culture.
Right.
Sure.
It was like, they just were like, get rid of him. You don't need him. And it's kind of crazy how like social media works. Cause I'm reading these over and over again and I'm like, do I need him? Like, is he even helping me? Like, I'm believing what they're saying. I'm like, no, of course he helps me. Yeah. So yeah, but
Crazy.
that like got us a little tougher, I think. It got us a little more prepared.
Thicker skin.
Skin for sure.
Okay, I want to talk about more videos, but we got to dive into that while we're on the topic. So these videos are going off. I'm just realizing that I watched that one actually before I saw the other one, and I am remembering I watched the one where Mike is going to do something like with the fellas or whatever, and you have got baby girl on the floor and you're not invited. And I saw both of those. So you guys you were permeating my feed even before that one. But so then you get these messages, like there's the internet trolls, man. You guys are like the darlings of TikTok right now, but there's still trolls that will eat you up. How do you handle like this instant social media fame and the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes with it? How you guys doing in that?
I think Kat put it really well one time because I was having, honestly, full transparency, like I was having a harder time than her. Like I was reading these comments and I was reading into them way too much. And
I mean, granted, they weren't directed at me, so of course I'm like, it's fine, get over it.
But still, anyways, I was reading them and she said it really well. She was basically like, we have to keep in mind that these people are just broken. Like they're broken, hurting people, and they don't know any better. And Kat's basically said, like, I just really feel bad for them, and like, I really, like, that kind of put them in perspective for me. Like, man, like, yeah, these comments suck, but like, they're broken people. They're angry. They've got things going on in their life. And I can't let it hit, get to me because there's no use in doing that. If that makes sense. Yeah.
I feel like because the one we had, the first one go viral, I asked him what he thought my biggest insecurity was. And that was my first taste of mean comments, and people were commenting what he should have said. So he said it was my stretch marks after having the baby. And then people were like, well, they should say, he should have said your forehead, or he should have said your personality or your hair. I don't even know what they said, but I feel like when I saw that, I was like, ow. But then I kind of shifted it toward empathy. I'm like, okay. That helps me a lot. Even though I'm trying to come from a selfless point of view, it's kind of selfish because it's helping me not take it personally. And just,
Yeah. That's awesome that you are able to navigate that, because it can be incredibly painful and disorienting and take all the fun out of it when you realize how broken, how cruel, how mean people can be. And I find that most of us, we default one way or another. Either we default to what's wrong with me, or we default to what's wrong with them. Yeah. Right. And if we can move to, oh man, their life must suck. Yeah. They must be so insecure if they're saying that about me. Then we can move past it. But it's not easy. You guys have had to develop thick skin quickly. You've been thrust into the spotlight.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay, so did you have, when you were starting out, did you have expectations for what this might become?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
I was like, we're going viral. We're going to do it.
She was legit. She had total expectations. And I would just sit there all right, whatever. Yeah, sure.
I just really wanted to. I feel like this is something I wanted to do for so long.
Yeah, she did.
And I was like, this is the perfect platform. This is my kind of style. I can communicate with these people good. So let's try it. And we did it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Now that you have the amount of success, fame, exposure, whatever, do you have new goals? Do you set like numeric goals? Are you like Oprah Winfrey, like Soul Sunday, like
Literally, Caleb, I changed my passwords to 1 million so that I could hit that amount of subscribers.
Yeah.
So like every time I log in, I got to think 1 million.
Yeah.
And we're at like, it's just constantly waking up. And I literally wake up and I'm like, let's go. Like, what are we going to do today? Like, it's really exciting to try to like have this idea of what you want and kind of manifest it and like make it into something that you're working for every single day. It's so fun. I love doing it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, have you done this with anything else in your life, or is this kind of like the first real experience of kind of that dream manifesting in front of you?
Have I? You know what's so crazy? I've never said this out loud.
Oh.
So when I saw him, you don't even know this.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh, we're getting
We're in
into
this
it.
together, Caleb. We're in this together, man.
So I went to church and I saw him drumming and he was so cute. And I remember looking at him and thinking like, gosh, I just want to marry him. And then we went on our first date.
Yeah.
And then after I was like, I really want to marry him now. Like after we spoke and he had substance to him and I just, everything I thought, like I wanted to have a family with him, maybe I'm just so powerful. It just happened so quickly. Like 3 months later, we're pregnant and getting married. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't mean right now. But yeah, I guess like important things like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a thing. There's something that you're in tune with, it seems like, right? There's some kind of connection that you've got that you're in tune with where you see, hey, that's my man. I see him with those sticks up there doing his thing. It doesn't hurt that you're in church. So there's that extra little like feeling of maybe God's in this, right?
Right? Was this planned?
Yep. That's awesome.
What about you? Didn't you like home lemonade? Come on, man. I'm such a catch.
I love you. Yes, absolutely. 1000%.
I came in wearing like my Sunday best, and he said he was so distracted.
I was very distracted. Yeah.
Really? Did you let the band down? I just threw this.
I let the whole band down. It crashed and burned the whole song.
Mike, so you're a drummer, man. You're a drummer.
Yeah.
And then do you have another job, a day job, or are you guys just making TikTok all day?
No, I do. Yeah, I have a day job. Yeah, so I work actually. I guess I could say like something that has manifested for me a little bit is like so when we got pregnant, I had to go and get a real job, right? I couldn't just be a drummer. And
at that time, were you a drummer in a band or just on Sundays at church? Or
He had no job.
I didn't have a job, man.
He had no
yeah,
job.
I was just.
He was living with his mother.
I was an intern at church,
I was literally like, oh my God.
Yeah, so I had worked for a company for a little bit and had kind of stepped away from it, and then when I had gotten this, when we got pregnant, I just in my brain. It was crazy. Like I'll always remember this. Everything just kind of clicked, and I just knew what I had to do. And I went to. I texted my old boss, the owner of my company, the next day, and said I'd like to come in and talk. I got my job back, and now I'm a director for our company, which is about a year and a half later. Kind of just worked up, and so now I oversee a sales team for like a very fast-growing tech nurse staffing company. So it's actually a really great opportunity. And it's just crazy. It's really cool. Yeah.
That's amazing. So like when the rubber meets the road, it was like, click, I know what to do. I'm going to get after this. And in the same way that Kat, she sees something funny on TikTok and she's like, I know what to do. I'm going to do that and better. And we're going to get 1 million.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, I can't even explain it. Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, so then you guys meet at church. It's the moment, is there fog? Is your church one of those that there's like fog machine?
Yep.
And then she sees you through the fog machine, and it's like there's that drummer wearing a schmedium t-shirt with his biceps and then it's like the magic happens. You guys go on a date, and then boom, pregnant. Like how soon? How fast was that?
Well, we were trying not to have sex.
Yeah.
We were trying.
Right.
And we
worked out great. Yeah.
3 months.
3 months. 3 months later.
We lasted.
Yeah.
And then when we found out, how dramatic am I? Like, I literally was wearing white jeans, Caleb. I go outside and I fall to the ground in the dirt. Like, I'm just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So that's when we both found out. And what was the question again? I'm so sorry.
Well, I just wanted to set that up a little bit. So you've mentioned now that it was like we met, pregnant, 3 months, and then you threw marriage in there too. So give us the timeline, and then we'll dig into we'll dig into it a little bit.
Yeah. No, we met. Yeah, we met. We went on a first date, and then 3 months later, she was pregnant, and then we got an apartment. The next week, we found the perfect apartment, perfect price. That
600 square feet.
Yeah,
so cute, but
little tiny apartment.
Yeah.
That was right after I had got my job back, so securely got financially stable. And then a week after that, we got married, and that's kind
Just
of
the family. Just the family.
It's a crazy story. Yeah, that's another podcast.
Okay.
But it was just her mom and my mom there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's that like? Give me what's going on inside, like hearts and heads, and you're thinking you're young, you just met, boom, pregnant. Okay. It clicks for Mike. I'm going to get a job. This is my kid. I'm going to support this kid. Kat, are you thinking, well, we have to get married? Are you thinking, what have I done? Are you thinking, God, why? Like, where are you? Where are you? You fall to your knees in the dirt. That's like a why God kind of moment, right?
I just was missing like the rain pouring down on me.
Yeah. You just needed the rain.
I think for me, I felt this because I feel like it's a different label for women versus men.
Sure.
Like, I feel like if that's something that happened to a woman, it would be labeled as that's kind of slutty that she did that. But I just feel like it's a different kind of agenda for a guy. Like, he's so good looking. Yeah, of course. It's just a different label there. And I felt really embarrassed that I'd only just started dating this guy. I didn't want to go out with my stomach. Like, when it started to show, I felt so ashamed. And then it was weird because you're embarrassed and you're like, what am I doing? But then you're like, I don't want to feel that way. Like, when this baby comes into existence, like, I don't want that baby to feel that way. Right. So I think it was owning our life. Well, for me, I'll speak for myself. Owning my life and the decisions I made did like a 180 for me. Like, that's what changed. I was walking with my head taller and much more confident in my decisions after I was like, no one else is living this. It's only me. So I might as well love it and embrace it and be proud of it. And I was. Yeah.
Did you see what just happened? Like, when you said walking with my head higher, it made me go like that. It made me go like that too. I was like,
everybody, just rise up here.
That's awesome.
But isn't that interesting? Because I bet when you made that decision and clicked in and started walking with your head higher, I bet people treated you differently too.
Yeah.
But let's talk about first that you said shame. That shame, I get it. I totally get it. I grew up in a very conservative environment. Where do you think that shame came from? Like, why were you feeling that? What were the kind of thoughts that you were feeling? And Mike, if you have any, similar feelings, feel free to jump in on that too.
I think mine was, I was a new believer and I was trying to like the slate's clean and you get to, I don't even know how to word it, honestly.
I remember you said you struggled with it being
A sin.
a sin, but also
Blessing.
something beautiful that was, you know what I mean? That was that weird dichotomy was hard.
That was very difficult for me. I'm like, I just didn't understand that.
Yeah.
So like, so if we sin for A, B, C, and D, then that's good, but not for E, F, G, kind of thing. I was like, I'm very like black and white and A, B, C. Like I'm very, I needed to be clear for me, and it wasn't clear.
Yeah. It was hard.
I think also it didn't match this blueprint I had for my life. Like I was expecting to have kids and be married in my 30s and do like have my career all set and ready to go. And it was just reverse.
Little did you know.
And flipping back. And it made me I was really sad for a long time. But like I said, once I got over that shame and realized this was a blessing, it just totally flipped. And I feel like everyone else was like, okay, you're right. This is great. This is great news. So,
For me, stand up straight.
Everybody.
For me, I was very heavily involved with my church and had been for a while, and like I was an intern. I was, obviously playing, every Sunday, in the worship department, heavily involved, a leader there. So for me, and the crazy thing is like we actually I can't even say that we had bad community or people were the reason we had shame. It was all internal because we had great people around us. I think it's one of the main big reasons for me personally that I felt like I got through it was because I actually had, my pastor, my best friend, the people that were on our team that were just like, this is going to be great. Like we're going to get through this. This is going to be awesome. Like, this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of you and ministry and church. But I had to fight that battle too, though, first, because you know how you can have 100 people tell you something, but if you don't believe it, it's like, it doesn't matter, Yeah. And so that was the thing that I kind of had to fight was like, man, like I felt like I let people down in a way, but at the same time, it was like Kat was saying, like, oh my gosh, I'm having a baby. Like, this is incredible, so.
Yeah, I think that in cultures where there are like expectations and standards, right? It can become easy to have an encounter. It sounds like you did, Kat, when you say I'm a new believer. So you've decided, okay, I believe this thing. I'm following this God. But then we can quickly kind of start comparing ourselves to all these standards for what it looks like to be good at this way and to be a part of this thing and a part of this tradition. And I think that that's where shame can come in when we don't like receive the grace that we're all just broken. Even like the trolls that you have grace for on your feed, that just broken and it's imperfect and it's a mess and we're going to try our best. But luckily God brings beauty out of the whole thing. Yeah. And I'm so glad that you were able to turn quickly to the blessing that this life is. Because anyone that would try to put shame on you or try to judge you or whatever, that's only because they don't understand grace for themselves. Right. They're lost in their own, battle with their own shame and depression. Sure. So you guys have such a lightness, such a joy, you're experiencing life, you're doing it, and I love it. So
I think
then
the experience. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
No, do it. Go.
I just wanted to add. I felt like before this whole thing happened in my life, I really based people's opinions so highly. Like if someone said something, I would kind of value it more than my own. And when people would give their insight, I'm like, okay. Like I wouldn't even take into consideration my like gut feeling or what my heart was saying. And I think this was the first time in my life that I did it. And it was for something so huge, like follow through with a pregnancy. Like this guy just stated, like go with your gut.
It's cool.
And I think that also brought this new level of confidence and trust in myself and who I am. Like, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did. You in a way, you kind of came into your own, right? Exactly. And that's what happens. Our the stuff that we didn't plan on or that we didn't plan on it going this way ends up building us into the people that we needed to be. And great. We don't have time for shame or the shamers.
You're right.
That's good.
There's no time.
There's no time.
Yeah.
We ain't got time for that. So now here you are, not only TikTok famous, but Mike had to like get a real job and like enter into the workforce and like man up and do his thing and provide and then now you both have this beautiful little child that you're responsible for keeping alive, and right, and then and with that you're balancing. Kat, it sounds like you have new ideas every day for TikTok videos.
Poor Mike, he gets home from like
every day I get home, boom, here's
I'm
5.
like, so here's what we gotta do. I need you to stand there and I'm gonna be there. And he's like, babe, can I just relax? And I'm like, how dare you? Like, are you annoyed by me?
Hey, listen, it's a hustle season. I'm embracing it. So
He's a good sport.
You are a good sport, Mike. You are a good sport. So how are you coming up with your content right now? Kat, are you just looking at what other people are doing? Do you have like these dreams and these visions? How do you decide on what you're going to make Mike do that day?
Tell me how, so I know.
Right? No, it's usually right before I go to bed. I don't really sleep a lot, so I just am awake and I think of these things and then I write it in my notes. And then I'm laying down and I'm like, okay, we could do this and that. And then I write it in my notes. And it's just very like, I come up with great ideas when the world's quiet.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. That's when I think of them.
That's good to know about yourself. You got to protect your stillness, your quiet space.
And I really don't like it when it's quiet because like then you're with your own thoughts and it's all crazy. But at like nighttime when it's time to go to bed, I really try to push that. Like put your phone away, only to write down an idea.
Is that where you put your ideas? In the notes app?
I tried the pen and the paper, but then like the baby ate the paper and I was like, the pen lost somewhere. I'm like, we'll just stick with the phone. Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love it. I love it. So when you look out 5 years into the future, what do you think will be the same about the Sticklers' life, and what do you think will be different about the Sticklers' life?
Question. Yeah, that's a great question.
Caleb, you're such a good interviewer. Wow. I need to like take notes to just have conversations with people and ask this. I think, okay, so 5 years, what's going to stay the same? Our love for each other.
Yeah.
Our love for our child, how we value family,
Faith.
Our faith, our intimacy. And I think what's going to change, this is what's going to change. It's just going to be, he's going to be able to quit his job.
I don't know. We'll see.
We don't know. If he's going to keep working, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to be doing this full time, creating, and it's going to be awesome. And we're going to get to inspire other families and other people going through hardships and be like, you can do this. And it's just set your mind to it. You can do freaking anything. That's what it's going to be.
I love it. I love it.
I think too, like the vision that I've seen from as I saw this kind of happening, and what I always told her is like, we really have the opportunity to use our story to like impact a lot of people, and a lot of people that, I think what I've seen through all this, and especially like reading through like good comments, just a flooding and an outpouring of like literally thousands of women that are like, man, this was me, like, or this is me right now. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Because you don't think that it would happen to you, right? You just always remember the girl that you went to school with, you see it on Facebook, and it's like, oh man, that could never happen to me. So now it's just seeing like, wow, this is like a real thing that, people kind of go through. And so being that voice for people, being encouraging, like, you can get through this. You can definitely have a brighter outcome than you think, So that's kind of what I see 5 years from now is a lot of people impacted in a great way.
Yeah, you know what? You guys have an unbelievable opportunity in front of you. You so naturally, quickly, and easily make cute, fun, adorable content that's easy to connect with. And what I see in you and in your story, kind of coming to fruition, is periodically then just dropping in some of that life, inspiration, encouragement. You can do this. Kat, you've got some like personal development, inspiration kind of stuff in you that you want to inspire people to go after their dreams too.
Caleb, I want freaking foam fingers for everyone, and I want to be in a stadium, and just everyone's going wild and just pursuing what they want to do.
Listen, if she didn't marry me, I know she would try to marry Tony Robbins. So. You know it's true.
No, I love Tony Robbins. But like, I love the whole, just, we're here once, you know, like imagine living your life thinking you can do anything and having so much faith that every morning you just put your best foot forward with the full intention that everything you want is going to come into fruition. I just think that's the way to live.
Well, everything that you want and that you don't quit on. You know what I mean?
That's good.
I think that is a critical part to that, what you're saying, kind of that seeing those things come to fruition or manifest in your life, is a lot of people just want, but then they don't do, or when they do and they get stuck, they stop. Mm-hmm. But when you want and you dream and then you believe and then you keep doing and you fall and you get up and you keep doing some more and you fall and you get up and keep doing some more and keep learning, then anything is possible.
It's awesome.
And I'm excited to see that journey for you. So that's why I built Spirit Farm. That's what Spirit Farm is. It's a personal development platform that tries to bring like the spirituality and personal growth together, because I think it's just all the same. It's all connected,
I agree.
right? Everything is spiritual. If you're growing and doing your dream and becoming who you were meant to be, there's nothing more spiritual than that.
Right.
And so that's what I'm trying to do. A lot of years in the kind of the pastor realm, and then now it's trying to bridge the gap between those things. And I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see you bridge the gap between entertainers and inspiration. And you're going to do the same thing. And I hope that we can keep doing lots of stuff together in the future. Because
Caleb, 5 years from now, we're going to be like, do you remember that interview we had 5 years ago? And then it's going to be blown up. And we're going to be like, oh, Caleb, you were there from the start.
That's so cool. I freaking love it. That's so great.
Yeah. Well, I barely know you guys, but I love you guys. You guys are a beautiful couple. And
thank you.
You have so much great stuff in front of you, ahead of you, and already in your life with that beautiful little girl, Mary Catherine. And you live in Tampa, Florida, right?
Yep.
So what else? The other thing that you have going for you is Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski just came to town, right?
Yep.
So now your football team is legit.
Yeah, they got to win. They got to actually they got to learn how to play together. So we'll see.
They've got to put it together, but I think it's going to happen. I think you guys are going to have a good football season as well as everything else, as well as a good social season.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's do it. It's just a great time.
Oh, God.
Okay, well, we are going to make sure that people, if they don't know who you are already and aren't already following you on TikTok and Instagram, how should they find you? Where should they go to make sure that they're tracking with you so that they can see this continued meteoric rise?
So YouTube and TikTok, it's Mike and Kat.
Yep.
One word. Or YouTube, it's 3 words.
And that's Mike and spelled out A-N-D, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Kat with a K.
Yep.
And then
K-A-T.
for Instagram, I am Kat Stickler.
Yep. You can just follow her. She's the famous one.
I tag him in all my posts, so we can also get him there.
It's
too.
crazy. I gained like 5,000 followers from just being her husband. So I'll take it.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for taking this time. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for living your great and exciting life right out in front of all of us to watch. We cheer for you, and we'll stay in touch via the socials. Look forward to the next time that we can chat.
Thanks so much for having us on, Caleb.
Thanks,
Nice meeting you, man.